listeners, welcome back. It's been so long, and look at all the friends you brought. Please, everyone, sit down. Have a seat. Enjoy yourself. Or if you'd like, go up to the bar, order yourself a drink. I promise you, the butler is not as terrifying as he looks. Anyways, let's just get into the story. We have so many to tell. Here, sit down, enjoy yourself, and take a listen as one of our plucky adventurers explains his last excursion into this mystical island.
Last time on Swordcast Adventures, I set out onto the sea and met a hardy group of travelers. We were beset upon by dragon turtles, but after I hit one in the head with an axe, they fled in terror. From there, we made our way to the Isle of Darkatur, where we were met by a bit of an asshole by the name of Enoch, who took us to meet the lovely Lady Cassandra. She told us of her treacherous brother, ailing father, and an amazing quest that lay before us. I climbed to the top of the highest tower with a tiny gnome in my backpack. Together, alongside the assassin Rain, we pissed off the highest tower and got heartily drunk. And then from there, we were off to go seek out the terrors and treasures that awaited for us on the isle.
Let's fucking play. So, as the morning has come and you have all gathered around these carriages, Enoch has offered you that inside he will transport you to the outside of the forest. He says that you should make your way inside and we will be off as soon as you all are ready.
Let us be off.
Elduin's ready.
Grimtuck is probably still a little hungover and doesn't really care for small talk.
You all hear from above on the, in the driver's seat, please, everybody, get in the carriage. This mission really has to start.
Is that the guy I don't like? Sorry. I couldn't hear. Sorry, I'm kind of blinded with a hangover right now.
You, again, hear just a very low...
The feeling's mutual.
Hearing that, Loud Scout starts to scramble up the steps into the carriage.
Cool.
Metolius also boards the carriage after his small...
Loud Scout walks in, and what does he see?
Inside, you all, as you walk in, see lavishly decadent satins and fine goose feather cushions all around, emblazoned with the Etterwine symbol on the backs of the walls, which seems to be this almost wreath of arms. It's very macabre, but set into such beautiful tapestry, it doesn't look as scary as it would be in, say, a tavern. As you all sit down, the cushions are wonderfully soft, and it seems that travel will be quite pleasant.
Grimtuck is going to pass the fuck out. Sorry.
General color scheme is purple and gold.
Metolius draws his lute from its case and begins to play.
Okay.
Play me off into a nap.
Loud Scout tries to find a corner of the carriage where it looks like people wouldn't be able to sit super close to him.
Effectively, Loud Scout, you could probably sit on the ground, maybe, against maybe one of the doors, probably closed enough to sit against it so you wouldn't have to sit next to a person.
This thing's it's very big, because Grimtuck's 6'5".
It's relatively...
I'm really small. Loud Scout's really small, so that's fine with me.
Yeah.
I can do that.
I'm trying to think, that would probably be the best option, is sitting upon even the floor being comfortable, and against the door, which is closed and secure enough for you to lean against it. So you all sit down. Okay. You hear a snap of reins, and the carriage springs forward into motion. You feel the rock of the gravelly roads as you move out from the keep for the first time.
As we start to head out, Loud Scout's going to pull back his hood and pull his backpack off and set it down. And he's going to reach... fumble in his bag for a little bit and then pull out a gallon of ale and pop the cork, and he's going to take a drink and set it down next to him and then rifle through his bag a little bit more, and he's going to pull out this little mound of clay that he's got wrapped up in a piece of paper and take out his knife and start to carve as to kill time along the trip.
Sweet. Is anyone else doing anything minus Grimtuck, who's sleeping?
Play a soothing...
Metolius is playing a soothing melody.
Accompaniment.
Rain?
Yeah, I guess I probably have like pulled my hood sort of over my face. And I'm not sleeping, but I'm definitely like ignoring everyone else in the carriage and like trying to sleep. But relatively unsuccessful.
Rain got drunk the night before too and almost fell off a building.
Yeah.
Alduin is going to have a telepathic conversation with his owl familiar, and like, every once in a while just kind of chuckle to himself, or like go like, "All right," and continue the conversation in his head.
Okay.
His familiar.
Just kind of nodding there in place and just chuckling. Excellent.
Do we know how long this trip is supposed to take? Did we cover that last time?
No one asked. It just was quite a while.
We're oddly just accepting. We're like, yeah, fuck it. Let's just see where the shit goes.
Jumped on a boat.
An excuse to see the countryside is okay with Alduin.
Yeah, right? A nice little vacation. We're getting wined and dined.
So the
We get to
cart
go kill some
continues.
orcs?
You find that as you move a little bit forward, the light changes, which seems to dictate that you have left the keep's grounds. You are now out in the full countryside. And you continue forward, moving on the road. Seems pretty well manicured. The travel is not only comfortable because of the actual pillows and tapestry, but also because these roads have been traveled quite well and are worn down. So there are no giant bumps or crevices to fall into. Anyone doing anything while you're traveling, or?
Loud Scout continues to drink and mold his clay.
Let's go. What are you carving? What are you molding?
It is going to be a small little hand.
Interesting. Okay. So it does take a while, but it's not an all-day thing. By the time you get there, the sun is pretty high. Seems about peak, maybe midday. By the time you make it, and you hear the carriage stop, and you hear a soft thud as what you expect to be Enoch jumps down from the driver's seat, walking over and opening the door. His long, flowing, azure robes kind of catching the sun a little bit more than you expect for someone who has generally stayed to the darker portions of the castle whenever possible. He kind of pulls open the door. Loud Scout, please roll a dexterity saving throw.
Did not fall out the door.
Actually, make it an acrobatics check. Let's not do
Acrobatics
saving
check?
throw for this. Yeah.
Okay.
Can Loud Scout tumble?
Non-natural 20.
So in the instant he opens the door, you feel it enough to kick yourself forward and grab your ale, so it doesn't tumble out as well.
Awesome.
And behind you, you hear, "Why were you sitting on the floor?" That doesn't matter. We're here. Everybody out.
I kind of just like finish the bottle of ale and brush my robes off and get ready for whatever he's gonna say.
Alduin disembarks.
Metolius has been antsy to get out of and about, so he jumps up with a start and departs after Elvin.
Grimjack just lumbers out. He's just waking up. Does that kind of sway, saunter, half awake thing.
Yep, Rain does the same pretty much.
I'm just doing my best to ignore that guy.
Rain, roll a perception check for me.
Sure. That'll be 8.
You walk out, and you see Enoch kind of move out of your way, just to make sure you all can get out just fine. And he kind of walks, after you've all left the carriage, he closes the door and kind of walks around the group and stands now in front of this gigantic forest. It looks ancient, dense trees and treetops that are far taller than some castle walls you've seen.
Awesome.
He kind of Enoch points behind him, and as he does, you notice that there is a pretty well cut out trail into the forest deeper. It's hard to see quite far the way down, but it's definitely traveled enough where it's not overgrown, and you kind of know the way you would need to go. He looks at you all and goes, "Follow the trail. Be wary. As you know, you're going up against some nasty individuals. And we would like you to make sure that you make it back in time. My mistress is quite excited about getting her heirloom back.
What are the dangers can you tell us of this forest, aside, of course, from the orcs?
The forest really doesn't house that many dangers, at least in this portion of it. It was hunted to a relative extreme a few ages ago, and hasn't grown very much back. Though I would say what is more worrisome is the warband that has kind of gathered around the keep you're going to. These ruins, though old, ancient, and possibly decrepit, do house some good points in where to hold an army. So, if he is wishing to become more of a threat than a small band of orcs will be, or could be, there is a distinct possibility that he has made it a bit more threatening to get to his location.
Master Enoch, how far is it to this keep?
It's about an 8-mile walk.
Okay.
It's
Not
deep
too
in the
far.
forest. It's high atop a kind of outstretched plateau, very oddly placed upon that in the center of this forest.
Okay.
Metolius speaks up and says, Dear allies, which of you would be most benefited by having a little bit extra constitution?
Not Grimtuck. I'm durable. See these many scars. I'm always looking to add more.
Eldwin?
Eldwin, I will not turn it down, but I aim to not be hit in the first place.
Aye. That makes sense. So Metolius will cast aid on himself, Rain, and Loudscout, which will give us all 5 HP for 8 hours.
Nice.
5 extra to your maximum, and you automatically get it.
Sounds
Deal.
good.
There is one thing I would like to do before we get started on this journey. Grimtuck is going to walk about 20 feet into the forest, just past the tree line, sit down on the ground, cross his legs, closes his eyes, and casts Speak with Animals, which does take about 10 minutes to cast.
Okay.
Because it is a ritual.
Though he doesn't specifically do anything to disrupt you, you do hear you all see the tapping of Enoch's foot as he sees Grimtug go out there and take 10 more minutes to begin. He's just...
I walk past, or Metolius walks past Enoch and claps him on the shoulder and says, Not to worry, friend. Your lady would rather us survive. And he walks off to the forest.
The moment as you release, you see a smile that looks more of fangs bared from a beast on Enoch's face, but he composes himself and goes, She is my mistress and my ruler. Lady would be reductive. Metolius.
Metolius shrugs for those people who can't see me.
Metolius definitely does shrug. And he responds as such. He says, Titles are meant for the lavish and the rich. I'm just a man of the forest who loves all things beautiful.
Also, who would be looking at the interaction of you and Enoch?
That's a good question.
At that
Master.
moment.
Eldwin will be, I'm paying attention.
Just saw that happening.
I would definitely be paying attention.
Loudscout?
Who would?
Well,
Rain would.
If this happened like right after Grimtuck.
Grimtuck
like,
walks off. You see about a few minutes in, you see Enoch tapping his foot, and then
yeah, I think I would have been.
Okay.
I would have seen this.
You all notice as Metolius' hand kind of claps Enoch's shoulders that there's something rigid underneath his hood.
Can is that a thing that I would recognize? Does that strike me as some feature that
Yes.
recognizable?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
Maybe only for more recent interactions, but yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Can I roll an Arcana check on it to see if it's like a magical item or something?
Sure.
Can who?
King Loud Scout. Loud Scout's gonna roll an Arcana
I'm
check.
gonna look.
For a 14.
Specifically for what you saw, no. But what you do notice is that there is a odd hue around Enoch.
Is it Enoch himself?
Enoch himself. There's something as though maybe he holds something magical, such as yourself.
Okay.
Or,
Is he horny?
Thank you, Party Pal.
I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
Do I notice this?
Yeah, you notice it too.
I reach up and flick it.
Oh,
and
shit.
I say, "What's wrong, Enoch? Horny?" And I walk away, and Metolius walks away.
Being a dick. I like it. Fuck this guy.
Rain is officially.
What have you done?
Yeah, Loud Scout's not really sure what just
You feel a
happened.
quick whip by your head, and you notice that in a far-off tree there is a dagger.
Free dagger.
Metolius just says,
Please keep your obscenities to yourself, Metolius.
Elduin is gonna walk over and sort of grab Metolius on the shoulder and like turn him away and be like, "Come on, let's go."
Metolius was already walking away.
Yeah, you already
I don't got. I don't,
No, that he
does
threw it
not
at
have
the
time of day.
back of his head.
Totally, but I'm gonna like keep him walking.
Rain is very
Yeah.
much giggling under her breath at this point.
I think it's fair to say
As
nobody takes
Metolius
Enoch
strolls
seriously.
away, he calls
Loud
out,
Scout's a little uncomfortable, so he like rifles through his bag and pulls out a different bottle and takes a drink, and then sits down on top of his backpack to wait for Grimtuck to come back.
I imagine since you're so small that they're the size of sippy cups. Like just little various sippy cups of booze.
Yeah.
Unless it's a bag of holding and they're just the size of you, which would be equally great.
All right.
Metolius does not respond to Enoch. He just walks toward the woods.
He didn't expect you to. Enoch he leaves the dagger there, and
Belongs to the tree now.
it does. It's the tree's dagger.
Grimtuck would pull that out of the fucking tree.
That's
You don't want the tree to grow, right? Come on, man. It's not good.
So, what you also notice is that anyone getting close to it, the dagger is very finely honed. It's quite a beautiful instrument. Carvings in the actual blade and a bit of lavishness on the hilt. Seemingly gifts from the Duchess herself.
Nice knife. Just put it in a fucking burlap bag.
You're communing.
Kidding.
You do hear a very quick motion all behind you, and then you hear that gravelly voice again goes, "I will wait here. Make it back alive. That's it. Just make it back alive. I don't want to have to find your bodies."
We'll do our best.
Indeed, we will. Elduin's just gonna wait until communing is done, and then.
So,
Metolius will wait at the edge of the forest for the communing to be finished.
Mm-hmm.
so you're speaking with animals.
So speaking with animals,
What do you want to speak to?
I'm gonna find myself any animals I can find as far as either birds or small rodents, something squirrels.
Roll a survival check.
I hit to 10. Not great. Could have been better. I mean,
You kind of hear the chatter of what seems to be squirrels, probably, up in the tree. It's hard to tell, but you hear kind of skittering, a bit of chatter, and then some leaves fall.
perfect. Well, do I have any that I see or that are within like? They could.
The leaves fall near you, Grimtuck, so I'm guessing that you probably could interact if you can speak with them. They might be able to speak back.
Ho, forest brethren! I come in peace, and I come as a friend.
Alright.
Might I have words with you?
You see a little furry head peek out and goes, You can talk to me?
Yes, of course. I too am a creature of the land.
You also all hear, think Emperor's New Groove, squeak squeakin', coming from Grimtuck, the giant half-orc barbarian. So,
That's amazing.
Crunk from Emperor's New Groove.
So,
Squeak, squeaker, squeak, squeaking. Yes, but yes. What does one so large, green, and mildly terrifying want?
To rid your forest of interlopers. I know that there are unfortunate creatures in here, abominations that do not respect the land, that are residing in the forest. We hope to go in, root them out, and drive them away.
Interloper.
Bad people.
Mm.
Ones who would defile the forests, who would not bury their wastes when they make waste, ones who would leave their garbage behind and otherwise make unruly fires that were not protected by rocks.
What?
Ones who would kill and not use the whole carcass of the animal.
Just really riding that one home.
Yep.
Mhm.
I don't know how to talk to squirrels.
I don't know.
I've talked to them before.
So, you mean ones that look like you?
Yes, but meaner.
Mm.
And don't keep as good of company.
Mm.
And don't talk to animals.
True. What is your question? What do you
Do
need
you know where they might be found? We come to find them, but we don't know exactly where they are or if they're waiting for us.
At the old rocks, I think.
Do you know which direction?
The squirrel kind of points down the trail.
As much as a squirrel can point.
Yes. Well, it has a full set of hand, at least, with an opposable thumb even.
I'm going to ask him if whatever measurement of distance he can give me that I will understand.
Days away.
I'll ask him as the bird flies or as the wolf runs.
As the squirrel runs, it would take me about one sun up, one sundown, 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 one sun up,
Thank
one
you,
sundown.
little brother. Are there any other treachery or any other dangers I should know about in these woods? Aside from the creatures who look somewhat like me, yet less handsome.
They seem to have companions that you might be able to talk to too.
Oh, great. Dogs or
Big ones.
big dogs?
Yeah.
Well, I thank you very much. I do hope you have a great day. I'm going to throw him some food. I have some food for him.
He kind of catches it and
And then, yeah, that's pretty much. I'll relay this information in not squirrel
and
tongue.
not squirrel. Awesome. How long does your ritual last?
10 minutes.
Okay. So if you meet any other wild animal,
Please let me know.
not a problem.
I'll ask these guys if they see any other animals, smaller creatures, to let me know. And I'll let them know, everybody, that there are creatures that, that mentioned my conversation with the squirrels, and also I can sometimes talk to squirrels,
What?
and that there are potentially other creatures that are with the orcs, dogs, large dogs.
Elduin is listening to you say
Ramble
all of this.
about this information.
Ramble about all this information. He goes, "Excellent. Well, shall we be off then?" And with that, he's gonna hoist his arm up like a falconer, and Teek's gonna take off up into the sky, and I'm just gonna pull my hood over and just hero turn around and head off into the forest.
Just one quick fluid motion, you see Eldoin just turn, and his cloak does that perfect arc.
I feel like there's two
Polius is very excited about this.
There's two very different sides of a coin here, with your very dramatic, cool exit into the woods with a falcon or the bird and a cloak, and me giantly talking to squirrels.
Would your owl eat small animals?
Yes. Yes.
Super rude.
He does it on my command.
I would
Okay.
really appreciate you not.
He's technically Fey.
I would really appreciate that not happening.
Elduin is gonna be nice to the party. He's not gonna
Okay.
encourage the
Animals that
owl
I
to
speak
eat.
with that help us are not food.
Fair.
Squirrels are friends, not food.
Yeah, those squirrels are definitely
But-
friends, not food.
Mhm. But Teek is going to climb up above
Sure.
the forest and perceive
How far can Teek see?
120 feet.
Okay, so you see a vast just network of trees straight across. I would say at the very edge of what he can see, even at such a great distance where you can't pick out much, you see something kind of break the tree line in the center, looming far above the trees.
Looks non-natural.
Yeah. definitely looks. What it's sitting on looks natural, but what it is looks more like humanoid made.
Looks like where we're trying to go.
Kind of.
Cool. And that's
about
straight.
8 miles down the road.
Yeah,
About
like
not
you're
gonna-
he's catching it, and it's even if you look through his eyes, it's exceptionally fuzzy. There is a color variation from the lush green trees.
Great. Gonna head out and say this way, guys.
Okay. Are you? What marching order are we going in? Are you taking the lead since you seem to be our scout?
Well, I am
Elduin?
both sneaky and perceptive. I feel like I am a apt leader.
Okay. I'm comfortable with that. Grimtuck does not mind not going in front while I am somewhat
Metolius will
stealthy.
follow,
Yeah.
and he mentions aloud, I used to be a forest guide before I came here, so I will help you, friend.
Rain has
Welcome.
not spent very much time in Knot City, pretty much, so she's definitely a little cautious going into this forest. Would probably hold up the rear, at least a little bit.
Grimtuck is happy marching in the middle. I make for an imposing figure. So.
Loud Scout would be somewhere near the back. Not exactly in the back, but middle to rear.
Cool.
Sounds good.
He would
So
also take one final drink out of his bottle, but instead of putting it into his bag, he's going to stick it into a hidden pocket in his robe and then grab his things to move out.
roll a Constitution check for me.
God, you were getting drunk before the mission.
18.
You're fine.
Little champ.
He's a well-seasoned drinker.
He's pickled. Yes.
That's why he's gray.
Yeah.
So, you all begin moving through this dense vegetation and forest. Though there is a cut trail around you, is almost impossible to see more than a couple 100 feet to any side. The trees break your view very quickly.
What's light like in here?
It's dim, but there. The canopy above is solid, but there is like beams of sun shining through, enough where you can see ahead of you. It's not as though any of you and all of you who have dark vision, which is all of you,
Nice.
Just be lunking.
yes, let's fuck it. Let's go to a cave. Fuck this keep.
No torches needed here.
None. You actually sold them off at the first general store you went to. I don't need these.
Suckers.
Thank you. No, but you make it. It's quite beautiful. This it looks as though that this trail may have been cut down by whoever used it before, maybe to get to the keep, maybe to get further up the coastline. But everything else seems pretty pristine, as though they've let this forest kind of grow naturally. Nothing really cut, nothing really downed, which gives it an equatable magic air to it. It almost feels preternatural in its effectiveness. So, you continue forward, moving through this trail. Everyone roll a perception check for me.
11 for Rain.
Grimtuck hits to 8.
Loud Scout got a 13.
21 for Metolius.
20 for Elduin.
Are you letting Teak fly above the canopy or below?
I was gonna have him fly above the canopy.
Okay.
So does he roll perception? as
Yeah,
well?
absolutely. I mean, he's effectively working with you, so he can keep an eye above.
He is gonna struggle with the perception though. He is a 7 receive.
He's just trying not to eat the squirrels that he goes to.
You keep seeing him every once in a while, and he keeps being like, "But Elduin," and Elduin keeps going, "No, don't eat the squirrels." No. So, what'd you get again,
I
Elduin?
have 20.
So yeah,
Non-natural.
non-natural. So, you two notice, Metolius and Elduin notice that not only is this trail large, but as you go, you notice there are branches broken pretty high up in this canopy, as though things moving through were quite large.
Giant size?
Could be. Certainly large enough to be a giant.
Taller than an average humanoid.
Taller than a half-orc.
Okay.
Want to use him as the standard this time?
Yes.
6'5".
Yep. Taller than that. So you notice more and more. You also notice that this trail is walked upon and stamped down quite heavily. You two even notice that some of these prints seem recent.
So it's like troop movement,
Something like
Large.
that.
tribal faction,
Yeah, I'm going to be
tribe
or
movement.
Grimtuck will be on the lookout for telltale signs of movement as well as creature/animal like waste for, basically these guys are going to make a trail and they have animals that I know about.
Metolius pipes up quietly and says, "Seems like a large amount of something came through here recently."
Elduin's going to send Teak from above the canopy into the canopy to check out these things.
Okay.
And as he's doing that, I'm going to take a moment to see through his eyes and inspect these like broken, moved branches for things like fur and stuff like that.
Okay, have Teak roll an investigation check.
Teak roll an investigation check. Okay.
Actually, use yours because it's effectively you're seeing through his eyes.
Okay. Cool. 16.
You've noticed that a lot of these seem broken, almost not only broken at the very base, but broken in different branches. So these were grabbed and ripped. You can see piles of hair, black, coarse.
Black hair. Okay. Does
Stuck.
Does it look like anything that I've seen before?
Specifically by that, it could be a number of things.
Okay.
So, not specifically.
Alright.
At this moment, though, you hear the sound of what seems to be bark. Like a couple barks off in the distance, and then a low howl kind of ring through. It seems maybe almost a mile or so off, but from the direction it's coming from in front of you.
Rain readies her rapier just in case.
Metolius draws his sword and says, "Sounds ahead of us. We should probably go investigate. They are further along the trail, regardless."
Indeed. Elduin motions that we should all move to the side of the trail, and then Elduin is going to start being officially sneaking, and is going to start moving forward.
Elduin, roll a stealth check. All of you can roll one if you wish to move forward
Yes, please.
stealthily.
As we're stepping off the trail, Loud Scout's going to take one last nervous drink out of his bottle and then pull his hood up and
22.
try to sneak.
Grimtuck hits to 15.
15.
Rain rolls a 24 for stealth.
Rain is invisible.
Literally.
I tend to be.
Loud Scout rolled a non-natural 20 for stealth.
Boom.
Metolius rolled a 16.
Hey, we're pretty good.
Wow.
Pretty good, guys.
Is Teak rolling a
job.
stealth check?
Sure. People roll a stealth check.
And Loud Scout, what beverage were you drinking?
This one is brandy.
Okay, roll another Constitution check, please.
You are just a walking hangover.
Constitution, yeah, that's another 18.
Never mind.
Teak rolled a 7 for his stealth check.
Okay. As you hear your familiar kind of flying above, you do notice him kind of hit a few leaves and make a bit of noise as you keep moving forward.
Sort of glower at him. Okay, he's an owl. So he
Grimtuck
should-
will say to Elduin, do you know if those owls are native to this island at all?
I do not. I have just arrived here for the first time.
It may be best to not have it scout ahead too far. If they have anybody who is familiar with these lands, they would recognize a foreign bird.
Seems prudent.
And so you all moved off the trail, or are you
Yes.
sneaking on it?
Off.
Off.
Okay.
Definitely off.
So within about, I would say, 8 to 10 minutes, as you're moving forward, you start to hear the stamping of feet and what seems to be the patting of paws ahead of you, about probably 200-300 feet.
Does it sound like it's coming this direction?
It does.
From this sound, can we gauge roughly how many this sounds like? At least it does it sound like 3 or does it sound like 15?
Roll a perception check for me, Rain.
2.
It's really hard to tell this far out.
Deal.
Also, does anyone speak Orc?
Oh, jeez.
Metolius speaks Orc.
I speak Orc as well.
You mean the half-orc speaks Orc?
As a
Yeah.
guy.
What?
Right?
Blasphemy.
So Metolius and Grimtuck both speak Orc.
Okay.
I'm only talking to you in Orc now.
What evs?
But You don't know I speak orc.
No,
yet.
it's true. You don't know. I speak orc.
Wait. He's not wrong. It would just be kind of
racial
weird.
Stereotypes
Yeah,
here,
right?
but-
Fair enough.
He left that part of his life behind him.
That's right.
Language.
Yes. And race, culture, and all that. But, it's fine. So, while you hear the patting of feet, you also start to hear kind of the sound of sniffing.
So we're too far out for this one. For like, as far as distance wise, this is pretty close then.
It's getting pretty close.
So I wouldn't have time to cast another beast since it takes 10 minutes to cast.
No, you would not, sadly.
Or,
It's
sorry,
definitely...
It's not speaking to animals. Not beasts.
As I start to hear that, Loud Scout's gonna reach into one of his sleeves and pull out a piece of cured leather, and move it in between his hands as he casts his mage armor.
Cool. Sounds good. So yeah, in a moment you hear a slight flourish behind you as Loud Scout dons himself with the ethereal armor. You now hear kind of Rain, Loud Scout, and Elduin all hear this low guttural uttering coming from ahead on the trail. And you hear, "What you smell? Go. Seek it out." And as you do, you hear a kind of yip and a low second growl as these things start moving forward.
Rain is going to attempt to hide as much as possible behind one of the trees.
Okay.
Metolius will wait and see what Grimtuck does.
Grimtuck is going to pull his axe and really hope he doesn't have to kill some poor defenseless animal. Not defenseless necessarily, but some poor animal in bondage. I would like to be able to speak to these animals to not have to murder them, but it sounds like they're on their way.
Are there any stones or large rocks anywhere nearby?
Rocks?
Fallen tree, maybe.
Yeah, I would say roll a quick perception check for me. Let's see what you see as you're kind of...
Perception's going to be 11.
You find some large tree trunks. You also find a few larger boulder-esque things kind of peppered through. What are you doing, Loud Scout?
Loud Scout would like to get to the closest large rock that he can find and try and hide behind that because of my stone camouflage. I had advantage on stealth checks when hiding with rocks.
Ah, yes.
Elduin is going to get behind a tree and try to look in the direction of the voice.
Okay.
Can I see either a sniffing animal or this voice?
Yep, take a look. It's rolling perception for you at home.
I'm rolling perception, and that is a 14.
You don't know if you see everyone. What you do see is at least one large, burly orc standing there, and you see two heads kind of darting forward just about at the tree line, a little obscured by foliage below, and especially you being off the trail.
Okay.
But it seems to be maybe two wolves of some kind.
Okay. Elduin is going to cast Gust, and I'm going to gust from the dogs or the hounds' position towards us, so that we are downwind of them.
Well done, sir. Actually, I'd like to give you a point of inspiration for that, please.
Well done.
All right.
Also, as I'm assuming they're drawing closer to us at this point. As I hear them drawing closer, Rain's going to cast Thaumaturgy and attempt to create a sound that sounds like something moving in the forest as far in the opposite direction as possible.
Okay. Thaumaturgy.
So, I can create an instantaneous sound, so some branches breaking.
Yeah, totally.
Or a bush rustling. The range is 30 feet. So...
You basically get it on the opposite side of the trail from...
Oh, I don't even mean on the other side of the trail. I just mean 30 feet, left or right of us.
Okay,
so
that's fine.
At least start veering.
Okay, so yeah, you all see Rain kind of point out ahead of you. And then you hear the sound of large branches cracking for just a moment. And these two giant wolves stop, skid to a halt, and start to howl and bark as they run into the tree line and towards the sound. And you now see 3 orcs, one that you saw before, Elduin, and now 2 others behind it, kind of running behind, like. And Metolius and Grimtuck, you both hear, they must have found something. Interlopers.
Metolius makes a motion for anyone who's not hiding
Yeah,
already
we're definitely going to hide.
to hide.
Loud Scout got a 19 on his stealth check to hide behind that rock, by the way.
Metolius got a 13 to hide.
Grimtuck hit to a 6 on his stealth check. So, just a heads up there.
Did you want me to do another self check
No,
to
you're-
continue to hide?
You are stealthed. So most of you are quite hidden as these 3 hulking humanoids kind of bound through. And now you notice pure-blood orcs have a tendency to be much bulkier than their half-blooded
I
friends.
will fuck them up if they say that.
I mean, that's fine.
Blood.
That's fine, but it's true.
Yeah, it's true. I just
The
don't want to hear it from the orcs.
the feral the feral nature of these beasts is shown in their giant sinewy forms. And as they kind of trounce through the forest, you see the wolves stop for a moment. How large is your area of gust, Elduin?
Well, so it doesn't have a specific
Size.
What it
Okay.
says is you can create a harmless sensory effect, such as air, causing leaves to rustle, wind to slam shutters shut, and clothing to ripple in a breeze.
I would say that it would probably be a good-sized gust. As they move away from where you initially pointed it, they kind of come off the trail 30 feet down into the forest. You now all see these 3 hulking masses, and they're 2 giant wolves, larger than you expected now that you actually can see them.
Okay.
Kind of stop where the wolves heard the sound and kind of start looking around like
How far away are they from me?
they're about 30 feet.
30 feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're all kind of hiding, except as Grimtuck stops and tries to hide behind a tree, you hear a twig snap. And you hear the 3 orcs all kind of
And as that happens, I am going to cause a few leaves to rustle over near where the wolves are.
Okay. We're just going to make him run around in circles.
How close are the orcs to our hiding positions?
They're about 30 feet away.
Close enough to see the lights in their eyes.
That is true. Actually, yeah. They fall for it just fine. They hear that and kind of turn around, now backs all to you. As you see them all kind of turn and start to march away from you enough to figure out what they heard as these leaves rustle. It's like, where are you? We know you're here. You have trespassed on the Cut-Tucks clan's territory. Make yourself known and we may spare you.
They're facing away from us.
There.
Fuck this.
But-
Grimtuck just
Yeah,
pulls his
Metolius-
goddamn axe out and just steps out from behind the tree. Fuck this shit.
Metolius sees Grimtuck do it, and he goes too.
Yeah.
Everyone roll a quick perception check for me, please.
Ooh.
Perception. Grimtuck hits to 17.
Loud Scout got a 5.
Great. Rolled a 1 on that perception.
Everyone got an 8.
Metolius got a natural 20.
Ooh.
So as you see Grimtuck walk out from behind the tree, axe drawn, what are you doing? What is everyone? What
I'm
are?
following?
Yeah.
Or I'm following his lead. I'm not following directly behind him because he's behind. Like I assume a different. Metolius assumes a different tree, and he just follows suit.
Yeah, because I'm going to come out and talk some shit, but you want us to roll perception first.
Yes, because, and Metolius is the only one to hear this. You hear a slight break of a branch above you, and then there is a thud landing behind effectively behind Grimtuck, who I'd feel would be the farthest back.
I hit to a 17. I don't hear this shit.
No, you don't.
Fuck.
Not until you hear a thud behind you, and that would be a 19 to AC.
That hits.
Ooh.
Fuck.
Actually, let's make sure it's not a nat 20. It's not.
Can I rage as a free action?
Not yet. You
Damn
can't.
it.
Can't you rage to avoid being surprised?
Well, not for being inside. I have danger sense, which gives me advantage on dex saves against effects I can see. I didn't see this shit coming at all.
Fair.
But at least we know that we would have already been caught because this motherfucker was on us.
Yeah.
So you get hit, my dear Grimtuck, for that is 11.
Shit, what hit me?
That is 17, 18, 20 points of damage.
Ooh.
As you feel a cold blade cut into your side. A second sound drops down, and you see two orcs covered in black leathers, large scimitars at their side, coming out of almost nowhere. Everybody roll initiative.
Whoa!
Where did the second one land?
Landed about 10 feet off behind his friend.
Okay. And Grimtuck is
The farthest back away.
how far away?
From you all, I mean, you all are in within 10 feet. From them,
Okay.
I would
Within
say,
10 feet?
yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's go around the table. Grimtuck, what's your initiative?
Grimtuck hits to 6.
Okay. Elduin.
7.
Oh, man, guys, you're doing great. Loud Scout.
Loud Scout also got a 7.
Oh, God damn it.
We did.
Rain got an 8.
Oh, man. Oh, Metolius.
14.
Hey, at least you got something.
Somebody broke 10.
Jeez.
Oh, we have to go before these guys.
This could be real bad.
Yep.
So, let me think marching order really quick, guys. So, Grimtuck is at the back. Elduin, how close are you to Grimtuck?
I was near the front.
Okay, you're near the front, closer to the orc band in front of you. Loud Scout, you are off to the right, probably about 10, maybe 15 feet from Grimtuck behind a rock. Rain? Where were
I
you?
mean, I was towards the back of the crowd. So
Okay, so you're about 5 feet in front of Grimtuck. Metolius, where are you?
Metolius was taking his cues from Grimtuck, so he's actually back close to Grimtuck.
Okay, so you're probably about another... So 5 feet maybe to the right, while Rain is 5 feet to the left.
5 to 10 feet to the right.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you saw Grimtuck walk out, but you also saw this giant, jagged scimitar cut through his green skin as red blood starts pouring out of him.
And he swears loudly and angrily. Mostly at himself for getting caught with that bullshit trick.
Which now makes it the second surprised orc's turn.
Ninja orc.
Ninja orc, who runs up to you, Metolius, and attacks.
Bring it on.
I will. It is. I would say you're not surprised because he jumped down, so you don't get the crit, but he hits you for a 22 to hit. Sweet.
That'll do, pig.
And then his second attack is 12. Nope. You're not caught completely off guard, which means he does 16 points of damage as he slashes you with his subsequent scimitar.
Damn, these guys are tough.
We got sharp ones.
Next, you see him kind of run back away about 15 feet.
From me.
Yes,
Metolius.
from Metolius.
May I
Yes, you may.
get an attack with opportunity?
Absolutely, Metolius.
17.
Hits.
Get him.
Respond in kind, sir.
7 points of slash.
Okay. But he does jump back, and as he does, he is going to run back about 15 feet. Then you see him lean up against a tree, and he casts darkness on himself as a 15-foot orb surrounds him. You no longer see him, you just see a giant void standing there.
He's how far away did he run?
He would be from you about 25 feet, give or take.
Okay, and this is the guy with the scimitar.
They're both with the scimitar. They are both the same, seemingly same kind of orc job. That makes it the other orc's turn. The orc band you saw in front of you turn around and now make a loud utterance of Grimtuck and Metolius all hear, "There you all are. I see our brothers have found you first." And they start charging forward. They're not going to be able to make it to you just yet, but they are moving towards you all. All three of them make it about 30 feet before they basically run out of movement. Oh, actually, that's not true. They're aggressive as fuck. As a bonus action, they all move their speed towards a hostile creature that they can see. And they all run up, being that Elduin is in the front. Do they see you, Rain? They do not. Two of them throw javelins toward you, Elduin, while the third runs up and grabs a great axe.
Okay.
13 to hit.
You.
No. On the other hand, 24. No. Doesn't hit. No. The javelin only does 8 points of damage to you. 8. While the other one, the third, runs up, hefting its great axe, slobbering creature running up towards you, ready and roaring to attack. Trying to hit you for a 12. No. It swings wild in its charge forward and misses completely. That ends the orc's turn. That makes it Metolius. What you doing, bro?
Get him.
Can I see the orc that is attacking my
you can see.
friend?
You can, actually.
I'm going to run over there, and I am going to make 2 attacks against this black leather-clad individual.
Do it.
First attack. 17.
17 hits. You doing anything special with this attack?
No, sir. I'll let you know.
Not a problem.
That'll be a 13 points of slashing damage.
Okay. Ooh. So yeah, you see Metolius run up next to you, Grimtuck, and he throws out your
Long sword.
Thank you. And as his blade hits true, that deep red vermilion blood just starts pouring out of the side of this creature.
And as I just through my teeth, I'm just gonna in orc tell him his mother's a cunt.
As a bonus action.
Metolius is going to swing again for a 15 plus 6, which is 21.
Okay.
And we'll do 10 points of slashing damage.
Okay. You shear off a thick chunk of this orc's muscly arms and shoulder. You see it leaving a huge gaping hole.
This time I will smite.
Okay.
I'll do a thunderous smite.
Okay.
And we'll do 2d6 of thunder damage. So 6 additional points of thunder damage. It is a loud ringing sound. It's audible within 300 feet. And it must succeed a strength saving throw or be pushed 10 feet away from me and knocked prone. My save is a 15.
It makes it.
Alright. Well, that is the end of my turn.
Okay.
Concentrating on this spell.
This orc that was just exceptionally injured by Metolius and has injured our fair Grimtuck does not notice Rain nor Loud Scout yet. As he kind of wildly looks around, you're able to, your skin matching the stone itself, Loud Scout, and Rain just catching just the right amount of shadow from the tree. He kind of looks wild as he readies a scimitar attack, one to you, Metolius, and one back to you, Grimtuck, as he believes his mother is a wonderful creature. That is a 23 to hit.
To who?
To you, Grimtuck.
Oh, fuck him. That hits.
Okay.
God, this guy's dealing his damage for sure. I haven't got to rage yet, but I'm gonna take his head right off.
Thank you.
That is 12 points of damage. Metolius, as you see that scimitar cut across your companion's chest, he swings it and whips it up above his head, coming down for an attack on you again for a 22.
That'll hit.
Hope it was worth his life.
Dealing 11 points of damage to you as he catches just between the plates of your armor.
Okay.
He is going to disengage as a bonus action and move back away from you all. 30 feet to just around, or he moves back about 15 feet just around his partner. He's not in the sphere of dark, but he's kind of wavering right near it. Rain, it is your turn.
So the one that casts darkness, can I like visibly see the sphere of darkness?
Absolutely.
Okay. How far away is he from me?
I would say from moving 15 more feet, he'd probably be about 25, give or take.
Okay. I'm gonna move like 10 feet further back away from him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna attempt to shoot my hand crossbow like as into the center, into the
'Kay.
sphere as possible.
Sweet.
So I'm assuming disadvantage?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Actually, double disadvantage. No.
That was a 23 or a 19 to 23, or 19.
19?
Yeah.
19 hits.
Cool.
Damn.
Um,
Even with disadvantage.
1d4 piercing. That's gonna be 5 piercing damage.
Okay.
And I think he might have to
Roll
roll to see if he keeps his concentration on his darkness.
I think he does.
Well done.
Thank you. I am then going to I'm gonna dash as my bonus action.
The darkness doesn't fall.
Okay. Fair. But I am gonna use dash as my bonus action. And I'm gonna go another. So I already moved like 10 feet.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go like another 20 feet away.
Okay.
And
30 altogether.
30 so far. And then using my ability with my slippers of spider walking, I'm gonna walk 20 feet up a tree
Okay.
and attempt to hide in the branches.
Okay. Roll stealth, please.
Okay. Oh, I guess I already used dash as my bonus action, so I can't also hide.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just be in the tree then.
Not a problem.
Hope no one sees me.
So you
up there.
move up the tree. You all now see. Well, Loud Scout and Grimtuck both saw this. Actually, the only one who hasn't seen this yet is Metolius. As you guys pass by Elderwin's window.
I'm too busy getting shanked
That's fine. I'm just saying.
to pay attention.
Speaking of Loud Scout,
Real good.
it's your turn, sir.
Alright. So is there still the one the one dude that's like not sure what he's doing, like by himself?
Well, there's the one that moves back closer to the sphere of darkness, which was the first one that attacked Grimtuck.
That Metolius already took a chunk out of.
Yes.
And
Okay.
then there's the guys running headlong.
There are the three guys who are running headlong towards you.
And they're
And wolves.
And wolves.
how far off are they?
One is right next to Elderwin. The other two are standing about 10 feet back to get a nice amount of range to it.
How far away from me is that?
20 feet, give or take.
Are the wolves nearby them?
They would be a little farther back. The orcs decided to charge ahead, leaving the wolves behind. So they're about 35 feet from you.
The wolves are 35 feet from me?
Yes.
So they're within like 10, 15 feet of the other orcs?
Yes.
Okay.
Get him.
Get them all.
I'm going to pull out this chunk of obsidian out of one of my pockets and kneel onto the ground and slam it into the ground as I attempt to cast Erupting Earth. Centered on the orcs and wolves.
Okay,
in a
so, like,
20-foot
right-
cube.
You would be able to hit the 2 javelineers and the wolves. So yeah, that's 2 orcs and 2 wolves. Go for it.
Cool. They make a dex saving throw.
Excellent. What's the DC for your dex saving throw, sir?
14.
Does anyone make it?
Yes, they all rolled terribly.
Actually, so the 2 orcs don't make it, but the 2 wolves do. Well done, wolves.
Yeah.
Half damage to the wolves.
24 damage.
And what level spell is that, sir?
Third.
There. Please roll.
I did.
Did. Cool. Wasn't it? So 12 damage to the wolves.
That was erupting earth.
Yep.
So what happened? The earth just.
Oh,
grabbed them?
I'll get there. I'm just doing the damage to make sure I know what's going to happen. So, oh man. Poor things. So, as you slam the obsidian into the ground, you notice that there is a momentary shock in between these four creatures. And the leaves and the foliage on the ground just kind of shoot up for a moment. And then out of the center of that, dirt and rocks and rubble start pouring up until you notice magma just explode out.
Me.
As that all kind of comes down upon everyone, you notice that the orcs don't really take the brunt of any of the heat, because there isn't much of it. It's just a bit of magma that seemed to push the earth forward, but are just completely encased by the rubble. And buried, they no longer move. The dire wolves, though, take a solid brunt of damage, but you notice that they kind of move away from the large wave of rock and earth that tries to encapsulate them as well.
Sweet. So now also the ground in that area is now difficult terrain.
Like that is, you also notice that any of the magma that poured out instantly dries up and solidifies into cold earth. Loudscout, are you doing anything else?
I guess I would use my bonus action to attempt to hide again.
Okay, roll it, please.
That's a 12.
Okay. You once again tucked next to the rock. Elduin, what are you doing?
Alright, so Elduin is how close to the guy? He's within 5 feet of this guy?
Of the guy with the great axe, absolutely.
The great axe? Okay. So,
And the only regular orc seemingly left alive.
Okay. So Elduin is going to pull out one of his short swords, and as he does that, he's going to also reach his left hand into his small pouch of sand that he keeps on his belt. And as he does, he kind of tosses it into the air and gusts it into the face of this orc who's right in front of him, attempting to blind him.
Okay.
So it is a dexterity save for the orc.
What's your DC?
14.
It doesn't make it.
Alright, that is... So the orc is blinded for 3 rounds.
Excellent.
And then I'm going to pop my action surge and use this freshly drawn short sword to take my 2 fighter attacks against this orc standing directly in front of me.
Which gives you advantage.
For both of them. Man, that was important. Alright, so that is a 12 and a 22.
The 22 hits.
Okay. For 10 points of damage.
You take a solid chunk out of this. He kind of like, you throw your hand, as you pull out the small bag of sand, you throw it into the air and your kind of gust catches it and throws it right in his eyes. And a moment later, you see him just kind of like writhing as he's trying to push it out of his eyes, giving you full access to his torso. And you stab hard into it, the blade sinking deep and leaving a giant gash. As you pull out your blade, it's covered in red orc blood. And
Excellent.
yeah. Anything else?
No, I'm done.
Okay. That would make it Grimtuck. It's your turn.
Oh, there's a guy right in front of me, and I am going to... Grimtuck is going to rage, first and foremost.
The guy right in front of you actually moved away.
He's like 15 feet.
Yeah,
That's
he's
close enough.
within your ability to get to him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, he's in my path. So Grimtuck immediately is going to rage, pupils dilate, mouth just salivating with the thought of killing this person who dropped down and stabbed him really, really hard. And Grimtuck is going to slash the shit out of him with a great axe.
Okay.
Fuck, that's not good. Grimtuck is going to hit to 12 for the first attack.
That does not hit.
Grimtuck is going to slash again. Grimtuck can't roll tonight. Grimtuck is going to hit to 14 on the second one.
As you run, just gurgling saliva out of your mouth and just rushing forward, you swing your axe once and miss. You swing your axe twice and this orc dodges under it, leaving him not unscathed but unhurt in this moment.
Damn. I don't think there's anything else I can do in there. That's about it.
You could commune with nature for 10 minutes.
Help me, squirrels!
Come to me, my squirrely brethren! As it becomes the wolves' turn, you see these large beasts start to rush forward, but because they are stuck on this rough, gravelly patch, they can only make it about 25 feet, not making it totally to the party, leaving them away at the moment and out of sight. But as the top of the round hits, Loud Scout and Metolius, you both hear a quick thwip fly through the air. Metolius tries to hit you for a 14.
Nay.
Loud Scout tries to hit you for a 17.
Yes, so that did hit me, actually.
Oh. That's 2. That's 4. That's 7 points of damage altogether as the dart kind of catches you right in the shoulder and you feel it stick in. You just, without thinking, just grab it and rip it out and it leaves a solid hole in your shoulder. Your robe is now stained red and crimson. The orc does not move out of his little hidey hole, but the orc in front of you, Elduin, starts to swing wildly and tries to swing at you blindedly for 10. No, and slams his axe into a tree. Roars as he knows he didn't hit flesh. The other 2 orcs are dead, making it Metolius' turn.
Metolius runs up to the sneaky orc that dropped from the tree that has been assaulting Grimtuck and myself. He moves so that he's facing the orb.
Okay.
So that if things come flying out of it, maybe he can see it. Maybe he can see it.
Okay.
But he's gonna swing on. Oh, he has to make a concentration check because he took damage
Metolius does?
on his concentration spell.
When did you take damage?
Oh, last
The
round.
13.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That will be a 14, which will just make it. Am I able to move in flanking?
Yeah, but you wouldn't be facing the orb anymore, but you could move around Grimtuck and
I
flank.
might have movement afterward. We'll see. I'll move to an advantageous position.
Sure. So yeah, you kind of circle around the raging orc, half orc, sorry.
14 plus 7 is 21.
That definitely hits.
Well done.
And it's gonna. I'm still concentrating on the thunderous smite. So he'll take 8 plus 9 thunder damage.
8 plus 9 thunder
8
damage?
slashing plus 9 thunder.
Okay.
Cool.
And if he lives, he must make a dex or a strength save. Or be pushed 10 feet away
Which would,
and not prone.
Could push him right into the...
or get a baseball batted by Grim.
Well, if I've moved to flank, then it's pushing him right at him. So
That's true.
Sweet.
He does stay alive. Let's see if he makes his save.
15 DC.
He does not.
So he's pushed 10 feet away.
Does that mean that I get an attack? of
You
opportunity?
absolutely do.
That means that Grimtuck is going to initiate a grapple on this big fucker.
Okay.
I get advantages on strength, and I crapped on my last 2 rolls. So I figure this is going to be a better bet.
Sure.
He wants his seat. That and this fucker will be between me and the orb. Grimtuck hits... That's a strength check, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
Athletics versus.
that's a 26.
He doesn't make it.
Yeah.
So as he's pushed from this thunderous strike, you see Grimtuck's arm almost jut out instantaneously, gripping the orc by the throat and pulling him close to him.
Metolius has one more attack, which I assume he still gets to make a...
Yes!
Yeah.
Do it! I
Go
hope
ahead.
it'd be with advantage, because I'm
18
grabbing
plus
his
6, so 24.
Nice.
I won't proc the Thunderous, it's only one time per turn.
Man, if this wasn't only a hold person spell.
14 max damage.
Max
Nice.
damage.
Well done.
So you see Grimtuck grab this creature by the throat and hold him up, and as he's trying to writhe and move out of the way, Metolius, you come in with that... Okay, you come in right from underneath with your longsword and just gut the creature.
Nice.
As I push the longsword up into his guts, I lean in close and in Orcish Metolius says, "Say hello to Gramash for me."
And your
Pulls the sword out to eviscerate him.
Badass.
You heard that in Orcish. And you hear him, as his last breath, just...
I hold him while he dies. He doesn't get to die on the ground. He dies getting choked.
Metolius backs up and turns to bring the shield to bear facing the orc.
Okay.
And I'm still holding a dead one.
Okay.
Just to be clear.
Well, I mean, he's a good orcish shield, I
An
guess.
Orcish shield.
Corpse-ish shield.
Yeah.
That makes it Rain's turn. Rain, what would you like to do, my dear?
While still in the tree, I'm going to attempt to break the concentration of this darkness again with my hand crossbow.
Okay.
Let's see. So disadvantage. Disadvantage will be a 21.
Holy shit.
That hits.
Killing it with a disadvantage.
Like Babe Ruth over there. That's where it goes. I found it.
And that'll be another 5 piercing damage again.
Okay.
And a concentration check.
He makes it.
Dang it.
But you do hear out of that darkness, as though he does not need to be stealthy, you just hear...
Okay.
And you see the bolt kind of fly out. Not like thrown,
out
just
of the
like
sphere.
kind of flips out of the darkness covered in blood.
So then, in an attempt to hide where the arrow came from, I'm now going to come back down the tree, which is 20 feet, then another 10 feet back, and now use my bonus action to hide amongst those trees.
Word.
You want me to roll stealth for that?
Yes, please.
That'll be 26 on the stealth.
Okay. Loud Scout, what would you like to do?
So the only one that's left is the...
So there's one in the
Hidden orb?
darkness, there's 2 wolves.
And then the one that
And the
has
blinded
sand
one.
in
Yeah,
its
there's 4 effective monsters still in combat right now.
Alright, so I guess I'm just gonna try and finish off the wolves. So I will... so I'm gonna pull a little diamond out of my pocket, and as I hold out my hands, it starts to float in front of me and glow red, and as I try and cast a chromatic orb using fire.
Okay.
So that's... what's that?
Let's light the world up, guys.
So that's gonna be a 14 to hit.
14 hits.
Sweet.
Yeah. Well done.
9 damage.
9 damage each.
Yep.
Okay. You throw this orb out from the diamond. It just kind of encircles it for a moment, and you just push it forward. And as it does, it flies spinning through the trees and the leaves. You see it catch a few on fire as it goes, but it goes out very quickly until it lands right in the center of these 2 dire wolves standing there. Just it erupts, covering them in flame, dealing decent damage, but they all howl in pain but are seemingly still alive, though singed. You also notice the ground below them seems to be a little bit of light.
Sweet.
Yeah. Eldrin, your turn, unless Loud Scout, are you doing anything else?
Nope, at that point I'm gonna try and hide again.
Cool. Yep.
That's a 14.
Okay.
So I am in front of this blinded orc.
Yep. Who is now quite bloody.
Quite bloody. I can pull out my second sword with a free action, or is that a bonus action?
pull your second sword. It's fine.
Pull out my second sword. All right, so I'm going to make 2 short sword attacks and 1 offhanded bonus action attack against this guy.
3 attacks.
And they should have advantage.
Yes, they all.
All right.
They all have advantage.
So that is the first hit. First attack is 21.
That hits. Do you want to roll damage for each one really quick?
Sure, I'll roll damage for each one. 5.
Within your first strike, you see the orc kind of thrashing back and forth, but as you stab down into him with the first short sword, you see him kind of slow his movement, and you see the eyes slack open and the jaw fall limp, and he drops.
Excellent. Great. Well,
Neato.
how close am I to the wolves?
Close enough. You are within, I would say they got 25 feet, so you're about 10 feet away, give or
Cool.
take.
I will use my movement to move in up to them, and
Okay.
I will take my second short sword attack.
Sure.
They are not, however, I do not have advantage on them against them.
You don't.
And that's gonna miss. So, but I'm gonna take my bonus action offhanded short sword attack, which is going.
You're rolling like me.
I'm rolling like you. 12.
12 doesn't hit, so I'm guessing the one before that was
It's
lower.
even lower.
Okay. Neither of them hit. These wolves, though on kind of rough terrain and uneven ground, they still are able to kind of duck underneath your swings as they saw you running up to them. Very familiar with combat, being that they were raised by these green beasts. No offense.
I'm more of a greenish brown.
There you go. Grimtuck, it's your turn.
All right. So Grimtuck is facing down a black dart throwing thing, pile of darkness. I'm gonna take a cue from Rain over there and see if I can't just go in there and baseball swing some shit and see what I come up with.
Okay. So each attack has disadvantage.
Proverbial spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah.
See what sticks. In
2.
So Grimtuck's lowest hits to 17.
17 hits.
Bam.
Nice.
Jesus.
That would be 4, 5, 6, 11 damage.
Okay.
And concentration check on that one.
Actually, sure. He does not make it. As you see Grimtuck run up to the orb, not even going in, and just swinging wide into the orb of darkness, you hear, "Urgh!" And as you hear that, you see the orb just and dissipate. You now see Grimtuck's axe stuck in the orc's chest, and he kind of like rips it out.
Hold on. For my next attack, I am just going to initiate a grapple while my axe is still inside him.
Okay.
So instead of before he has a chance to pull it out, for my second attack, I'm just going to try to grab him.
Okay.
No.
You're a very grabby barbarian.
He's super grabby,
So
He
that's
hasn't even had a drink yet.
is that an athletics or a strength check?
That is it is an athletics versus athletics.
Okay, so if his athletics is better than a 24,
Actually, that's a natural one, so no. He is struck off. Like, he basically is kind of off put by the axe sticking out of his chest and is unable to defend himself against what effectively, if he didn't have the weapon protruding from him, a much weaker beast's arm. But you're able to wrap yours around him, catching him in a hold where he can't breathe.
that's the plan. And
As he struggles, his large, meaty hands gripping against your arm.
I'm gonna just whisper in his ears, "You're going where your friend went."
Gonna die, clown.
I think that's it for my.
I think
actions. I don't
so.
have
Yes,
anything.
he is now grappled and.
Stuck with an axe.
Yep. Elduin, you are harried by hairy beasts.
Bring it.
As these two pack tactics, man, fucking hell.
Oh,
Yeah, pack tactics.
First attack is a 22. Second attack is.
Oh, what?
Sorry, I will explain in a second. is an 18.
Hits.
Ah, God damn it. So, the first one hits you for a, let's see, that is a 10 points of damage. Roll a strength saving throw, please.
My die.
Natural 20! I rolled all the way across the table.
For those at home, my die just rolled across like 2 tables.
As this creature jumps at you and bites onto your arm, you're able to throw him off just down to the ground as he tries to pull you down with him. The second attack is another 10.
Alright.
And roll another strength saving throw.
10.
You throw off the first direwolf, but the second one gets a hold of you and pulls you down to the ground. You are now prone.
Am I grappled or just prone?
Just prone.
Okay.
That does take up their 2 turns as they are fighting against you. This grappled orc.
Better roll well.
Oh, yeah. But,
Are we doing opposed?
yes. He does try to get out.
And that goes to athletics for me. So I hit a Grimtuck hit to 24.
He rolled a 1 again.
Oh! So he is now more grappled?
No, he's just still grappled.
Come on, a 1, that's a crit fail. At least give me a suplex.
So, what he does try to do is he does try to elbow you in the side to get you to release. Trying to hit you for, I would say, a 14, which does not hit your AC.
Nope.
So he kind of whips to the one side and slams his elbow into the tree behind you.
I laugh.
The second one, he whips to the other side, trying to grab onto anything he can. But again, his fist just bashes into the tree. You're able to stay with your back, with your front to him and out of his reach as he tries to attack you, leaving him completely defenseless. Metolius, it's your turn, and there is a present wrapped and waiting for you. My favorite.
Must be Metolius' birthday. As he will stride forward and make an attack with advantage. 19.
Hits.
Thunderous Smite will trigger. So he takes 6 points of thunder damage and 10 points of slashing damage and must succeed a strength save or be pushed 10 feet away.
You're gonna knock him right out of my... Shit! I was holding that!
Actually, I'm in a Grimtuck. I'm going to make you make the strength save.
Okay.
15.
Makes that absolutely Grimtuck hits to 18.
So, Metolius, roll an extra d6 of damage.
Oops.
Nice. I like it. 5.
How much was that altogether?
So it was 6 points of thunder.
Yeah, it was 6
10
thunder,
10
10
yeah.
slashing, yeah.
10 slashing.
So plus 5, so 21 points of damage altogether.
So you see Metolius run up to this creature, and as he slashes forward, you feel the shockwave of his attack, but you're able to hold him, which you notice opens the wound just even more as his intestines and just body in general is just exploded inward.
Nice. I think we have
Not
our
even
first special
implode.
attack.
Yeah.
Is he dead?
He's not, but he is...
Well, I'll make another attack.
Okay.
I mean, I can finish him
Oh, he's
off.
not dead
It's
yet?
fine.
Nah.
No, but he is...
Mama told me to finish what I started. Attack
for
for
sure.
a 25.
That hits.
Mama done you good.
Max damage, 14.
Would you like to roll? Are you smiting him?
No, I can only do it on the first time
Okay.
I hit with 11.
While
It's the spell's cast.
What would you like to do?
I mean,
Same thing? Sword Eater?
no,
The spit?
I think I'll just
The shish
disembowel
kebab?
him.
Okay.
I'll just disembowel him
Fine.
as his innards fall to the forest floor.
Yes, you see the openings within his chest and abdomen, and you continue to open those farther. And yes, hot orc guts fall into the leaves and branches on the ground with a large gushing thud. Gross.
And he will spend his full movement to get to close to Elwyn as possible.
Okay.
Grimchuck is just covered in gore.
That's your familiar terrain, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Familiar terrain.
Blood is my favorite.
Blood and guts.
Corn would
Rain.
be happy.
Blood for the blood god. Skulls for the skull. Anyways. That's a whole nother thing. Rain, it's your turn.
Okay.
There's some wolves attacking an
alright.
elf.
There's some big bad wolves.
Okay. Are the wolves the only thing left?
2 of them.
Okay. How far away from me are they?
You're down from the tree now.
Yeah.
I would say they're maybe... No, because they came forward, so they're still about 25 feet away from you.
Okay.
Give or
cool.
take.
I mean, I guess if they're only 25 feet, I will jump out of hiding and attack the closest one with my rapier.
Okay. Screw that pup.
You get advantage because
You get him.
He's prone.
companion within 5 feet.
But he's,
Oh, but he's prone, so I don't get this. Okay. Cool.
he's at the moment not exceptionally threatening.
That's fine.
I mean, you are. Don't get me wrong, Elderman.
I am. No, I'm fine being a small target right now.
So that is a 14 to hit.
14 hits.
Cool. That'll be 7 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Anything else?
I guess I'll put me within 5 feet. So I'll actually use my bonus action to disengage
Okay.
and jump back.
Sweet.
Yeah, jump back 5 feet. And that'll be my total. He was 25 feet away, you said?
Hmm.
So yeah, I'll jump back 5 feet after disengaging, and that'll be my total movement.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Loud Scout, what you doing?
This is still just the 2 wolves.
Just 2 wolves left. Dire wolves specifically.
Dire wolves. How far away from me are they?
A little more, probably more like 30, 35 maybe.
35.
Yeah, you were definitely a little farther back than Rain was.
I'm just gonna pick the one that's closest to me and create a bonfire underneath it.
Okay.
So dex saving throw.
Doesn't make it.
All right.
Bonfire is everyone has to make 5 feet of the bonfire.
So does that include me?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
And perhaps the other.
But you're
Actually-
prone, so what does that do to a dex saving throw? I think you automatically fail. Oh.
Yeah. So the other wolf makes it. Elduin.
I'm making a what?
Dexterity saving throw at disadvantage.
Natural 1.
Ugh.
Oh no.
Damn it.
You roll on the fire.
Roll your damage, man. You got 1 wolf in full.
5 damage.
The wolf you're actually going for just erupts and whines as you see him cooked
Nice.
completely. The other wolf takes no damage from it, I'm guessing, or does no damage from it at all. And you take 5. Still up?
I'm still up.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm prone, but
I-
I'm moving.
He's conscious.
He is conscious. That makes it Elduin's turn.
Yep.
All right. So Teak, who has been circling above us at this point, is going to attempt to assist his bonded elf, and then so he's going to swoop down and just try to like help action, but like nip on the wolf's ear or something.
Okay.
As he flies by, and then I'm going to use my action or my movement to stand up.
Okay.
I'm going to use my short sword.
So it's effectively half your movement. So you
Half my
still have
movement?
half the movement.
Totally, but there's a wolf in front of me.
There is.
I'm gonna kill it.
Do it.
I'm gonna try at least. So I'm going to attack. So the first attack has advantage because of the assistance, I believe.
Effectively, because Teek's there, sure.
The flanking, yes.
Yeah.
It's the help action was what I was. Anyways,
It's flanking.
sure. Okay, great. So I've got advantage.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, I am rolling stellar right now. That is a 14 to hit.
That hits.
It is.
Yes! Alright, so that's my first attack for 6 points of damage.
Okay. Wolf's still up.
Wolf is still up, so I'm going to make my second attack. And so this is advantage again, because of my... that will be a 19 to hit.
That also hits.
8 points of damage.
Okay. Wolf is still going.
Um,
It's looking really bad, though. As you've slashed it now twice, you can see that it almost wishes to cower away, but is unable to make any movements.
that's fair. I am going to use my bonus action to attack it one last time
Okay.
with my offhanded weapon. That is going to be well over 20.
Okay, that hits.
And that is going to be 5 points of damage.
And you sink your blade in, ending this combat.
Ugh.
Nice.
All right.
Sweet.
Elduin is gonna catch his breath. 'Cause
Okay.
He was a little hurt.
I think
Yeah,
we
once
could all
combat
use a rest.
is over, Loud Scout feels really bad about hitting Elduin with fire, so he's gonna rummage through his bag and run over to him and hand him a basic healing potion.
Just,
Yeah.
I just love that image. Just like, I'm so sorry.
Grimtuck is gonna,
I'm gonna,
I guess, just staunch his own wounds and start looking through the bodies of the ninja orcs that stabbed him, seeing what they, because they're pretty cool.
You find their weapons. You find scimitars, a blowgun with some darts in it.
Perhaps we should take some time to rest.
Agreed. I could use it.
Catch our breath.
Oh, definitely.
So, short rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Metolius, will roll some hit dice.
Yeah, same with Grimtuck.
Yup.
On the main, on the ninja orcs, you find some studded leather armor.
Use.
On the other orcs, you all seem to find some ripped up hide armor, a couple rough great axes, and some javelins if you want them.
Metolius will take his javelin.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll take one or two. I already have two, but you can always.
You
use some
find, including the two that are thrown, you find 5 altogether throughout. So you can
Grimtuck takes 2.
Yeah, I'll take two.
you can all split them up however you want.
I already had one. Well, I rolled some hit dice and I am back to full health. Thank you to the periaptive healing.
Hey listeners, Chris again. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We're so excited to get out episode 2 to you. Our next episode will be out on the 6th of November, which is a Monday, and that will start our regular schedule, which is the first and third Monday of every month. Of course, as always, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Podomatic, Podbean, and SoundCloud, or anything that aggregates from any of those. Please, rate and review us on any of those sites. We don't pay to advertise, so word of mouth and reviews really help out the podcast as it grows. It's very early on, so we're really hoping to get some traction going. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at The Swordcast, where we post regularly. If not, multiple times a day, because I have way too much time on my hands. Once again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We cannot wait to get out more content to you, and will as soon as possible. For now, I hope you all have a wonderful day, evening, or whenever you listen to this. And we'll talk to you soon.